Hey, family, good morning, and welcome to Sunday Sit with Sisters. Um, I am Sister Rowe. So this morning, as I was preparing for the show, I really thought about, let me get my camera correct. Okay, so I really thought about what I wanted to talk about in this morning because there's been a lot of stuff happening. Happy belated birthday to my father again. And God, to Cheryl D, to a lot of people share this birthday. To Tamara, my happy heavenly birthday to her too. Um, I I hope today, family, we could talk because I find that it's hard for the community to which I belong. I'm African American to sometimes have a real civilized conversation without all of the dogma. So someone sent me this. Poem or write up, and it's from the magazine because we're going to get into it, y'all. So roll with me here. Sorrel magazine, and they sent me this piece, and we're going to start with this before we get it because we're going to talk about Bill Cosby, Felicia Rashad. We're going to talk about the Red Summer. We're going to talk about a few things, but in a different kind of way. And I hope that y'all can roll with me because sometimes I find, and I'm going to be very honest before I read this piece, that for some Black people, not all. So I use words like some, but sometimes people don't hear some. They just hear the part they want to hear. But when I look at my ancestors and how they were able to self-govern, even under the harshest of conditions, I often wonder why we cannot self-govern right now. And so we have to be able to have some kind of justice within our own community. And if we can't do that, then maybe we really are destined to be slaves, like forever. Because freedom to me is not so much of the physical ability to move the way we think. The way we, like to walk outside or whatever. Freedom to me is that it takes a lot of responsibility and sacrifice to be free. So it's not like you're just suspended in air and you have nothing that's resisting you. But freedom means sacrifice. Freedom means responsibility. Freedom means, to take the good and the bad and to balance it out for me. So this is what someone sent me from this magazine. It said, protect them. So I have this little girl on here because we're going to start right from when we're little girls, basically. Protect us from verbal abuse, predators, rape, shrinking herself, premature sexualization, physical violence, blackmails, allowing others to interpret her, speaking. Protect her from eating disorders, poor self-esteem, adultification in childhood, rap music. Protect her from rap music. Protect her from the club, racist teacher, sexist teacher, sex trafficking, street gangs, teen pregnancy. Protect her from limiting limitations upon her life options, marrying a cock carrier instead of a cock carrier instead of a man. Do you hear that? Protect her from that. From illiterate friends, thugs, being poorly educated, being bullied. Protect her from imposter syndrome. Protect her from thinking she doesn't deserve love, loyalty, kindness, happiness. Walks in the rain with another lover. Walks in the rain with laughter. A soft place to land. Friends who support and uplift her. What did I miss? So this came from Sorrel magazine. And I put that up there because the girl's picture up there, we make it a little bigger. Because I don't know about y'all, but I remember when I looked like this when I was a kid. That's not me, but I'm saying that youthfulness. She has a pretty sundress. I grew up in the 70s. I was born 1971. And so I remember that feeling when I look at this picture and I look at how vibrant she is and how beautiful she is. And I don't know, family, how we go from being like her, like we're like, let's protect her, I would hope. Let's protect her from all of these horrible things. And then when we grow up and like when things happen to us, then we have all of this judgment. We put all of this responsibility on this child, like who's now a grown woman. But inside of all of us, we have that little girl, that little boy. What happens to us that we go from that vibrant look she has in her face, how happy she feels, how happy she looks. How do we go from that to start talking about protecting the rapist, for protecting the molester, to protecting the predator, to protecting the thug, from protecting, people who sexualize children, protect her from physical violence? How do we protect those people, but not her, and not her as an adult? Why do we still say things like, well, she should have known better? Why are we still saying things like she got pregnant, like if she can impregnate herself? Why do we put all of this responsibility on girls who then become grown women? Why are we ever really talking about this? Now, here I look at her. And I'm skipping around here, y'all, because I have like a PowerPoint. And I'm going to go to Felicia Rashad, because I have tremendous, and I want y'all to hear me, I have tremendous respect for Miss Felicia Rashad. I don't know about y'all, but when I was growing up, she was somebody, her and Debbie Allen, her sister. I love them. I love seeing them. I just thoroughly, thoroughly enjoyed them. And not just the image of Felicia Rashad, not Claire Huxtable, not just when the few films I've seen her in growing up, but I know a lot about her background because, I study people that I like. And her mother, an incredible woman, and the way that parents raised them, like they're supposed to be elegant ladies. She's supposed to be like that little girl in the picture I just showed you, but grown up. You know what I mean? So she was always so poised, and she still is. Just absolutely beautiful. One time I seen Felicia Rashad at an Oscar, I guess it was a conversation, and another actress was saying how she was jealous of somebody. And Felicia Rashad said, why would I be jealous if someone got a part? I should be celebrating. That's the character of this woman that I can see. I don't know her personally, but I have a lot of respect for her. So in saying that, when I hear people with morals who don't really activate their morals talk about wanting this sister to lose her job, which I don't think she really needs the job. So let's not get it twisted. This is not somebody who we could just threaten their job to be taken away. This is Felicia Rashad. Okay? She's earned her stripes, y'all. Like, let's just keep it solid. So we'll do this thing where every time somebody texts something or types something, see, when people speaking good on your name, nobody has a problem with it. Everybody's like, oh yeah, I'm famous. But when something goes wrong and now people have to check your bad behavior, bad service, supporting bad employees, then all of a sudden you're upset, you want something to happen instead of, this is what the person may think or feel. Now, here's my truth, family, because I want to first say that about Felicia Rashad, because I have a lot of respect for her. She did a lot for me in my own imagery of just her very being. Okay? Like, she to me is a woman. Oh, hold on, y'all. I don't know what happened there. To me, she is a woman that I have a lot of respect for. Okay? So with that being said, um, she made some comments about Bill Cosby being free, or, they corrected him wrong, whatever. And I personally, Rolanda Wilkins, did not take offense to her tweet or whatever she posted, because I think she was supporting her friend. Now, here's the kicker. This is where we have to really do some self-reflection. I'll get ready to hear this. I know so many women, and now I'm talking about Black women, who know that there are rapists in their families and friends, people who beat their wives, who do all kind of really God help us kind of stuff. Like, this is crazy. And they will stand up and support this person. Okay? They would stand up and support this person. And I think to myself, hmm, huh, why aren't we that critical of ourselves when we're supporting people that we really should have more accountability with? You know what I mean? And that really bothers me. That really bothers me. I am not a fan of Bill Cosby. I was talking to my sister yesterday about this, and I love my sister Khadijah. Shout out. And Khadijah was saying that when she was growing up, she enjoyed watching Bill Cosby. He was definitely an image that she loved seeing with the Cosby show, and her family and all that good stuff. She said, and then she heard some of Bill Cosby's speeches and how he talked down on Black women in particular from certain social economical, backgrounds. Um, I think Bill Cosby's a big color struck. I mean, hell, most Black people are, and I'm saying most because we don't even want to admit that kind of shit, but that's a whole other thing. So there we are, And she said, and when I seen that's the way he was, I immediately just stopped watching the stuff. She said, because I can't support somebody who would just, my mother was in low income. My mother struggled with her jobs, but she took care of family. So you don't have the right to talk about the way you think somebody is because of where they are living or what their choice, what they're able to do for their family based upon the system that we live in. So, she was saying, so I don't really personally, I don't care what's happening with Bill Cosby. I don't even give a damn. And I really feel like as Black people, we can't even have those kind of conversations. Like then we allow outside forces, and some of those forces I'm saying outside look like us, and they'll say, well, Black people feel this way, and that's not true. All Black people don't feel the same way. See, some people have a Mr. Cosby in their immediate surroundings. Some people had to live with their Mr. Bill Cosby in their life. Some people's Bill Cosby is very famous and affluent, and nobody can say anything. Hell, we have a president right now who some people say is a predator and who have done some inappropriate things. But because, we think that he's better than the last crazy, inappropriate president we have, that somehow he's better because maybe he says he likes certain groups. But we know his behavior has been questionable as it pertains to girls. So we're all some real hypocrites on this. I think Felicia Rashad was defending her friend. I didn't take anything personal. That's her right. So what? It's not like she got up there and bashed the women. You know what I mean? She's just defending her friend. And I feel like, family, we don't have to always have something to say about that. That's all right. That's all right. And I always say, well, this people's right to say, no, it's really not. It's really not your right. That's her friend. I feel like the passion that I'm seeing people have against Felicia Rashad, I wish they had that passion against some goddamn BET awards. I wish they had more passion to make some sacrifices with their children in terms of what they choose to watch and to wear. I wish that we would support girls in their femininity as we do other people who do it as a choice. I really wish we could be so passionate about making our homes safe for our girl children and our boy children too. I wish that we had that fire and passion that we had when we was marching for Black Lives Matter in the street with the police, but in your own Black home, your Black life doesn't matter. I wish we had that passion for our kids' education, that we will sacrifice for them to be properly educated. Family, we got to really stop with this judgment that we do with each other. We have to stop it. So I just feel like we have to stop attacking people. That's their right to say whatever. We have to also come to grips that people can do a whole bunch of wonderful things in our community and still be predators. So the question we should be having in a civilized manner is, what do we do with predators in our community? I don't care if the predators feed you, if they help your family pay rent, if they give out, if they do pop-ups or whatever, and they feed your kids or babysit your kids while you go do whatever. We still, oh, this is taking us a little too long. Most of us grew up in environments where we knew who the predators were and we never told anybody. And then some of us went and had children and did not protect our children. When we knew, when we knew what this was all about. And we never even thought, as we had children of our own, how would I protect my child so that she would not be a victim of predators like Mr. Bill Cosby? To have a man talk about pitting quaaludes in people's drinks, family. See, when I hear Black people talk about, well, white people, rape women and are predators. So why y'all treating the Black predator? Like when we start doing the tit the tat, like it's kind of like saying, well, if Napoleon, killed a lot of people, why are we mad at Idi Amin? They're both wrong. That's no, you should be debating like maybe your child's education. Maybe you should be debating housing. Maybe you should be debating things that make sense, but you're debating on people's crime and punishment and that means that you're at the end at this point. You're on fumes right now. And I don't want to hear, see, this is the other part. Because we have in this country a history of white women lying on Black men, right? And Black men being lynched, we let that cloud all of our judgment. Because here's the thing, Mr. Cosby's in a whole nother reality. When I decide to go in a den of wolves and I get partly eaten, y'all don't get mad at the wolves. You get mad at me for going in there. And I feel like in our community, we want to take racism and blanket it over everything. And that's why I work with girls every day. And the rape and molestation that happens to them as girls, they struggle like hell as grown women. Because I've been doing this work for like 30 something years. And it really saddens me that we haven't figured that out yet. We haven't figured out, what do we do with predators? See, Mr. Bill Cosby is just someone of influence and he's popular. And he's TV's dad because most of us are in love with Cliff Huxtable. You know what I'm saying? So the imagery shit is messing us up, family. When you look at your daughters and your granddaughters and any young girl in your life, we got to stop this abuse that we act like it's a part of, like a rites of passage as a Black girl, that you must protect the Black penis. Like, this is crazy, family. This is crazy. Something's wrong with us that we can't say this is wrong. One of the things I loved about my mom, blessed memory, I love so much about her, but when you was wrong, you was wrong. She was not going to protect you on no bullshit. And that sense of justice that my mom had, she would be like, that is my child, and I'm going to handle her ass or him. But we don't do that anymore. And then to talk about, well, these women were hippies or groupies. Look, it don't even matter, okay? To me, it really doesn't. Because if a woman is a prostitute, she still don't deserve to be murdered. If a woman is having a falling out with her husband, she does not deserve to be murdered. See, it's this rationale we do with women. I started off this thing showing you a little girl and how beautiful we feel when we're children. And then something starts to happen immediately, particularly with Black girls, when we put the weight of the world on them. Everything is their responsibility. But then we be over here protecting predators like we need them, like we don't have to save them. We never give the help to the people that really need it in our communities. And this is a problem. So I don't have anything. I love Felicia Rashad. I can truly say that. I love her because she's given me a lot in just her presence. And not just her presence in her acting ability, but her presence in the way she carries herself. I've been following her over the years. She is someone, when I think about grace and elegance, I think of Felicia Rashad. You know, she's cut from that cloth of old school people like V. Richards and those people who were actors, but they didn't take they didn't take roles that were demeaning or didn't make any sense. She's cut from that. She's not Megan Thee Stallion. She's not uh uh who the hell else we got out here? Because right now we're in a moral dilemma in our community. So we want success so bad that we be competing with these people even on stuff that's so immoral. We're up here competing. If they can do it, I can be more outraged. And it'd be on some stuff where you'd be like, what? What we should be talking about, because let me just say this about Mr. Cosby. His rights were violated. Okay? We know that his rights were violated. So I understand that part. Because we know historically, black people, even though Mr. Cosby out talking like it's not just black people. See, you Negroes, y'all just will never understand. Sometimes people like this, you have to let them go out into the wind. You have to let them go out there. But who he is, because he thought that he could do whatever he wanted to do, like most of us, and that somehow we would beat the system. Do you understand what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, no, we're talking about the behavior. We don't know right now how many Bill Cosbys there really are. You know, there's some walking around in your immediate environment. And you, black people, won't even protect your most precious commodity, which is your girls and women, because you can't even get to the planet without them. So you don't even treat them like they're sacred, but you want to put all the responsibility on the girl, all the responsibility on women. That's how you know there's something wrong with us, that you will not do your part. Yesterday, I watched a film called The War of Tomorrow. It's a film that was released on Amazon Prime. It's about some war in the future, and then people from the future break into the present and like, we need y'all help, we dying and whatever. So I looked at this film because they've been advertising it for the last month or whatever. And when I look at this, the hero in the whole movie is a white man trying to rescue his white woman, which is his daughter, and in the world, of course, but it's really about her. And every time I watch these films, I think to myself, whether if it's real or not, I think to myself, wow, we could talk a lot of shit about the white man. We really can. But in his idea, the whole responsibility for what is he's going to undertake or do is all on him. It is not on his woman. It is not on his daughter. I'm not saying he's perfect. I'm just saying that psyche. Because films are about getting you to believe in a psyche. That's why people love to produce. There's always a strategy to films, but that's a whole other story. But when I watch these things, I think to myself, wow, we haven't even gotten that yet. When we say things to our daughters like, it's your responsibility to do X, Y, and Z, or what did you do? Or don't entice this person. And I'm not saying walk around here butt naked. And I'm not talking about, I'm saying I think people can have what we call the anti-rape shirt on collar, where you the shirt all up here, and things will happen to people. And we'll still be saying stuff like, well, what did you do? Could you have handled that better? A woman told me once when her ex-husband, came out on the down low, they went to counseling at a church. They went to counseling at a church. And the counselor said to the woman, what is it about you that your husband is not attracted to you? The man is gay. So he you know what I mean? Like I didn't do anything. He's something else. He don't want to be attracted to women. But immediately the responsibility of what this man what he's doing came right back to her. Like, she's like, I didn't do anything. He just don't want a woman. And that's okay. You know what I mean? Like, why are you putting this on me? So I feel like we gotta do a better job. And I just want to say, Felicia Rashad has every right to defend Bill Cosby. I don't agree. I don't even agree with Bill Cosby. I think he's a predator. I've known too many Mr. Cosbys personally. But I mean, that's her right to say whatever. You know, we have to really stop with this culture of, you know, trying to tell people what to do, what to think, what to say. Like, you can't say this, you can't do that, you can't, why would you say this? Well, I mean, give me a break. That's their right to say whatever. You cannot control things by what people say. See, I'm not concerned about what people say. I'm concerned about what people do. Because Black folks will be an illusion of wanting to feel good, and people say, I really like Black people. And then they'll make some laws and agendas while you sleeping to say that you ain't gonna never be able to be free or be able to do what you want to do. I'm never gonna protect you. Hell, I don't even like you. This case in point, this sister right here. We're celebrating her last week. We're celebrating her. Oh, she's the fastest woman in the world, or whatever. She's gonna burn that track up. She's gonna burn that track up. And as we were celebrating her, and some people, some Black men, not all, because I'm definitely not against Black men, but sometimes Black men fight so hard to be white men. They fight so hard to be the colonizer. They fight so hard to be the oppressor, to be just like the oppressor. But it ain't the oppressor's fault. It's the person who's choosing to emulate them's fault, because you don't have to do that. So I heard men say maybe she has too much testosterone, or maybe just all kind of dumb shit. She's not feminine enough. Like, that's just the crazy shit. Being a woman really has nothing to do with your hair, weave, fingernails, eyelashes, your makeup, the skirt you wear. You have to have a womb. A womb you have to have. You know what I mean? That's what makes a woman. All the other shit is cosmetics. This is all cosmetics. If I walked around here with a shaved head, I'm still going to be a woman. Do you understand what I'm saying? So the sister smokes weed. Okay. I mean, Michael Phelps smoked weed. Yeah, we're going to go there. So, but my thing is this. Okay, let's, I don't know what the rules is, but I also know this is their game, ain't ours. This is their system, not ours. We've always known that there have been different sets of rules. And I'm not saying you shouldn't press it. I'm not saying you shouldn't do whatever. I'm not. But I'm just saying, hey, y'all, back up off this system. She don't have to carry the goddamn race. She up there running the race herself. I knew after that sister ran that track and went up there and ran into her grandmama's arms that she had probably been through some shit like most of us. She had been through some stuff, y'all. I knew that by when I watched her run up in them stands. But we skip over all of that. We skip over the trauma that Black people experience, and Black women in particular, because Black femicide has not changed, family. Every 7.5 hours, a Black woman or girl is murdered in the United States. Let's not get it twisted. Let's not get it twisted. And so instead of us, that's where you want to have empathy, family. That's where you want to have empathy. That's when we should be protecting her. Because even there's this whole thing of them not wanting her to run, you know what? It may enhance her even more. Because we know when I see, and I'm not against people smoking weed at all, but I will say this, because I lived through the crack era. When there is a whole industry around a substance or this plant or whatever we're going to call it, that people are in such pain where they are constantly needing relief, that means that something is wrong. When smoking weed is something that everybody has to do because you're on nerve, you're on edge, hold it, stop the press. What's going on that now weed is acceptable and now it's like, it's like alcohol is readily available, but we know we have alcoholics. You know what I mean? So I know people who smoke weed can't go through a day without smoking weed. There's a problem. And it's not because you have glaucoma or you got cancer. It could be because you're not dealing with some shit. If you find yourself being snappy and being irritated and then you smoke weed and now you're happy, that's not how that goes, family. That's not how that goes. Maybe you should be laying on somebody's couch talking about your issues and your problems. Maybe you need to run into a big mama's arms and be less loved on. Maybe you need to have more courage to fight whatever that is that makes you feel that way. But to be relying constantly on something outside of yourself to make you be calm, that's a problem. And so we need to be surrounding this sister in light. But I've seen a comment that says she let the Black race down. We are not a monolith. All Black people don't see themselves as one people. And we gotta understand that. I mean, she's not running for Black people. She's running for the United States of America. That's what she's going to the Olympics, or at least she was. So come on, family. We got to do more educating of who we are and what we are. Because Black femicide has not changed, family, not at all. It has not changed. We still got Black women dying. We still have Black women dying. And we should feel some kind of way about that. I don't know about y'all, but I feel some kind of way when we're dying out here. I don't feel good. When I see somebody in pain, it doesn't say, well, at least it ain't me. That's not how my brain is wired. When I see someone in pain, I feel some kind of way. Because I know that that's not right. And this should not be our reality. This is the face of Black femicide. Look at her. Black femicide is the killing of Black women and girls. This sister right here. Another sister, Black femicide. So y'all just killing us. I mean, come on, fam. This is a child right here. Black femicide. Because I said I got a Black femicide. This is just June, family. Black femicide. The pictures I'm showing you, these are all Black women and girls who have been murdered in our communities. Look at a beautiful face. In our community. We out here going to protect Bill Cosby. But Black women are dying every 7.5 hours. Look at her. What do we tell our daughters? Beautiful smile, beautiful. Love her gap in her teeth, beautiful. This sister. This is Black femicide, family. We should feel some kind of way about this. And we're going to have, a conversation of why we can't protect Black girls and women from verbal abuse, from physical abuse, from predators, from rape, from domestic violence, from Black men who are violent. Come on, family. And they die at the hands of Black men. This ain't the KKK. And we don't get the blame is on the KKK when you're killing somebody. Don't nobody want to hear that about no systematic racism. You sound like a damn fool. Ain't no systematic racism come in and killed these women. Black men came in and killed these women. And we're going to have to talk about that, family, because this is just not right. Not right. We got to do a better job. I'm going to make their faces bigger. I'm going to make their faces bigger. I'm going to scroll this down a little bit. Look at their faces. This is Black, and this is just some. The numbers are staggering. It could be like over 100 women in a month, higher than that sometimes. But this is Black femicide, family. And so while we're protecting Mr. Bill Cosby from being to predators' behavior, and you know what the crazy part is? If we could talk to a lot of these women, we know that 70% of Black girls and women, by the time they turn 18, has some kind of sexual abuse or molestation happen to them. So we don't want to talk about that number. You know what I mean? We don't want to talk about that. That means somewhere in our community, and then 50% of us, would have it happen to us twice. So there's something going on, family. And it can't be because maybe she should do this. Maybe she should cover up. Maybe she should, think about how he may feel when he see her. That's not her goddamn job. It's not her job. She shouldn't have to conceal herself because he can't control himself. That's a problem. We don't get to talk about, well, these women got to be a little bit more. No, we don't get to do that. We just don't, family. We got to stop it. I think we can have a civilized conversation about the predators in our community, like Mr. Cosby. I think he should be the poster child for predators. I do. Because I think they come like that. We'll be talking about stranger danger. And it's not strangers. These are people that we know. This is your baseball coach. These are people that we really absolutely know. It's not some Ku Klux Klan member coming to your house. No. These are people that you trust. So, no, I think we celebrate the wrong shit, y'all. I think we celebrate the wrong thing. I would hope that this summer that Black folks would do some serious soul searching. I hope they would teach their kids about all of these race riots that happened 100 years ago and how it impacts where you are right now. In case y'all didn't know, let me give y'all a little bit of information about that. Because sometimes I'm just amazed that we don't be knowing shit. Straight up. Like I'm amazed by it. Okay, this is a race riots and broke out everywhere. I mean, this is in 1919. You're saying, what can you learn from 1919? You can learn a lot of shit from 1919 if you pay attention. So right about slavery, I don't know about you all, but when I was a kid and I was learning about slavery, somebody asked, should we teach our kids about slavery in school? The answer is hell yes. See, my thing is we're always about this, as long as it's correct, because you want this story that you have in your mind. No, even when people lie, the truth is still lying there. I learned that when I was a kid. Because what it does is it puts you on a road to self-discovery. People could tell you anything, but the truth will always come out. But you got to start with something. So when I was a kid, I wondered what happened to Black people after slavery. Like, what did we do? Well, I didn't know that over 60 Black towns were established by Black people. Because we were trying to, because this is the other part that the Black people today don't get. Black folks were trying to get the hell away from white people because it was very violent being with them, very oppressive, deadly, if you will. The first 10 years after slavery, during the Civil War, after the 10 years after the Civil War, they lynched more people in the first 10 years after the Civil War than ever in history. And if you don't believe me, go to that lynching memorial in Montgomery, Alabama, and learn something about your history. And we didn't belong to anyone. Okay? So they were trying to get rid of the evidence. You know how when you do some illegal shit, maybe some of y'all can understand it in this vernacular, and you be trying to erase all of the evidence that the crime that you committed, you burn your shirt, you do all kind of shit, scrub the walls, whatever. They were trying to do that with us because when you look at us, I am here dressed this way. Listen to my English. I'm from North Philadelphia, okay? Even though I live in Sacramento, California, my you know what I mean? This is not, I don't look like the clothes. I don't have an indigenous language from Africa because I am an African woman. I know my lineage. I'm not so upset with what happened to me in slavery that now I'm going to claim being an Indian and not being Black. I'm not that goddamn ignorant, okay? But even though they tried to do all of that to us, Black folks still, because we had skill sets, family, we built America. We went and established our own towns, even though we still had to interface with white people. We still went and got something for ourselves. Now, let's stop right there. So when I hear people talk about slavery and have the audacity to be ashamed of our people who were enslaved, no, they should be ashamed of you because you got freedom and you ain't doing shit with it. Here are people who they tried to limit, but they still were fighting for the right to learn to read, to govern themselves, to plant in their garden, and to all the God-given talents and tools that they've had that they brought to America, that made America. They were trying to carve out something for themselves. So they established like 60 Black towns, over 60. And in all of these states, they had Alabama, Arizona, California, and Canada, which is a country, and California, and Florida, and Illinois, and Indiana, and Kansas, and Louisiana, and Maine, and Maryland, and Massachusetts, and Mississippi, and Missouri, and Nebraska, and New Jersey, and New Mexico, and New York, and North Carolina, and Oklahoma, South Carolina, Tennessee, Texas, and Virginia. Over 25 states freed Black people after slavery, was establishing over 80 Black towns, 80 Black towns. And if you can research this stuff on the internet as well, in 25 states, okay? I mean, one place was called Africa Town. Africa Town, family. So I'm just like, man, this is so beautiful. There's a whole list of them. So when Black folks were being very, when they were, being mobile and taking care of themselves, then the jealousy set in. And I think this period in time will kind of, because you can do a time increment. 100 years is not a lot of time. I'm 50. Okay. I'm 50. So if you do 100 years back, that's not a lot of time. It's simply not a lot of time. So we're talking 102 years ago in 1919, made this list. It talked, there's a red summer was when they went around. Now, mind you, y'all, this is 1919. This is not like they had the internet. This is not like they could just be like planning an attack, all the white people, because white people are not even a monolith. They're not a monolith either. They just move like one. So I don't know how, from Florida to Tennessee to New York. Let me hit you like this. In the red, so they're talking about on January the 22nd in Bedford County, Tennessee, there was a race riot. Then in February in Georgia, a place called Blakely, race riot. Then in March in Pace, Florida, race riot. These are all where there were Black people in Black towns. And March the 14th, Memphis, Tennessee had one, a race riot. Now listen to this. West Virginia, Morgan County, that's April 10th. Then you get into April, because there's too many of them, y'all. There's too many of them. I counted over 60 towns that they had race riots in. 60. I have the whole list here. I have dates. I have the cities. Scranton, Pennsylvania, July 5th, they had a race riot. They killed up a lot of Black people. Scranton, I'm from Philly. The president of the United States is from Scranton. Okay? And he ain't gonna tell me he didn't get no benefit out this race riot. So it's all in here. So they have it all the way down, but in the summer months is where it really heated up. So, that June all the way through August, it's just on record, like every day there was a race riot, like damn near every day it felt like. And so I don't know how in some of these race riots, the police participated, the military participated. I feel like our ancestors are unearthing themselves because we owe them something. We owe them the right to share their story, to tell their story. We owe it to them. Syracuse, New York. I don't know about y'all. I'm from Philly. I was always told like, oh no, and where we're from, we didn't do stuff like that, but we did in Pennsylvania. We weren't as free as we thought we were. The illusion of inclusion is real. That's the real drug. Okay. It's all here. Chicago. I love Chicago. The second largest population of Black people in the United States is Chicago. Okay. They had race riots. The imagery of these race riots, family, is enough just to make you just sick. It's just enough to make you sick. Here's one where the Marines kills Negro. You know, I mean, in Elaine, they were talking about people hiding in the swamps, and then our military came out, and as the people were trying to come out of the swamps, they were shooting them down as they were coming out of the swamps. Family. So it brings us to this question of reparations. Bob Johnson, and some of y'all may not know who he is. If you may be too young to remember who he is, but he was the man who founded BET, Black Entertainment Television. I grew up watching a lot of BET. BET is what gave me my love of media. To be honest with you, I watch Our Voices. I watch Teen Summit. Those things influenced me as a young person. I watched all those things. So Bob Johnson is basically saying that our reparations should look like something like $14 trillion for slave reparations. So the first black billionaire called for $14 trillion in reparations. And some people are asking, should he be the person asking for money? I think all black people could be. I think we got to stop this hatery because some people make more money than other people. Y'all, the shit is ridiculous. We got to really stop that. I think, yes, he should. Yes, he should. He should be right there fighting along. That don't mean he didn't have no ancestors who weren't slaves. And so he figured out how to make it inside of this system. I can't be mad at him for that. We don't get to call him a sellout because he ain't playing the shit you want to see on TV. So I've heard some of the comments. I've read some of the comments. People call the man a sellout. So here we go again, black people. We got time to call Bob Johnson a sellout because he sold BET. Maybe he was tired. I don't know. Hell, nobody has to carry the black race on their back. Like nobody has to do that. They shouldn't have to do that. Really shouldn't have to do that. We know reparations is all. I ain't mad at Bob Johnson for that. See, I feel like if they gave us reparations, what will we do with it? How are we asking for the reparations? I personally think reparations should be federal protection from everybody, land and cash payments for as long as there was slavery. This is as long as we should have cash payments. Now, what you do with that is up to you. And when I say federal protections, every group that's here has made their money on black folks' back. Every group. People know that there's something wrong. Because in America, you have to have a bottom class or else America will not exist. That's why slavery went over so well here. Because they needed someone to work for free. So let's just be very honest about that. So I think we should be having some real conversations around that. We got to have an ask. I don't want no more people liking black people. I want people to respect black people. But more importantly, I want black people to respect black people. Not protect predators, not to condone the bullshit, not to celebrate BET awards, which was so horrible. Like there's something I can't do more on the moral people. I can't. Because I was brought up with morals. And no one's gonna make me feel bad because maybe you wasn't brought up with morals. I don't know what to tell you. Get some morals. Just get them up. Just get them. You research everything else. You research about how to do whatever. You research bullshit. You research how to, grow weed out your backyard. I mean, what I learned from young people, whatever you want to do, you will make happen. You will manifest that destiny. Manifest destiny. I'm not mad at Bob Johnson. What am I be mad at him for? That's his right. Because you really can't please black people all the time. It's just impossible. You just cannot. I'm not mad at Felicia Rashad. I'm really not. I'm not mad at the sister on the track. What am I mad at her for? She's trying to live her life. Y'all wouldn't even care who she was if she wasn't running the track. Here's a black man was detained more than 60 times by the Chicago PD. 60 times. Maybe more of y'all should be cops. I don't know. I'm so clear to say I don't know the answer. I'm so clear on that. I'm so clear on that. Finally, I want to end with this. I'll wrap it up with this. There was a Black Woodstock, and back in, I think this was in the late 60s, I believe, 70s, 70s. And is now out on Hulu. And I did see it some time ago, and I seen this. I said, I'm gonna share this. Though I love celebrating, anybody know me? I'm a celebratory thing. I think we should celebrate most things. You know what I mean? Especially if it's something that's going to uplift us. I'm not celebrating somebody coming home from jail. I'm not, especially if they did some fucked up shit. It's like I'm not celebrating that. Unless they were wrongly accused of going in, they didn't do the crime. Then I'd be, okay, I'm with that. I'm not celebrating somebody coming home from robbing their community, selling drugs in their community, terrorizing their community. I'm not celebrating none of that. Like, that's not even some shit you should even tell nobody. But I do think Black people got to stop emulating white people. We got to stop it. Quit every time they do something, you got to do something. You don't have to. They do some British medieval time, bringing some shit here the fuck we come. It's like, what the fuck? That tells people that you really don't know who you are. That you want to emulate everything these people do. They molest kids. I should be able to molest kids. I mean, that's how we be thinking. This man killed his wives. I should be able to kill my wife. When I was growing up, I remember people talking about how white men would kill their family or whatever. Now there's Black men doing that shit. When they had the DC sniper, I was shocked that he was Black, because Black people usually didn't do shit like that. But the need to emulate and then to want to be protected while you're doing it, that's sick. That's really sick. Part of me don't want nothing to do with the justice movement, because I think this is some bullshit to escape giving Black people our justice. Sometimes I don't want nothing to do with it, with the cast of characters that's associated with it. Because it doesn't say anything about protecting the victim. Every time Black people kill each other, we don't even want to say Black on Black crime, but we don't have white on white crime. Dude, I don't belong to white people. If I was to be murdered, I know I'm not going to get murdered by a white person. I know I'm going to get murdered by somebody Black, and that's not okay. I don't belong to you where you get to just do anything you want to do to me. That false sense we have of ownership of each other when it comes to fucked up shit, but we don't take that ownership when it comes to building and protecting and providing and maintaining and nurturing our community, our girls, our women. No. It's not okay that you murder me. Don't come from your damn rib. How does that mean? How do I come from your rib, but you can't get here unless you come through the womb, man? Really? How much sense does that make? Family, we have to do a better job of self-governance. We have to do a better job of self-governance. So, family, as I wrap this up, I hope y'all be well. And I hope that y'all have a good 4th. Enjoy yourself. Barbecue up. I hope you enjoyed the show today, because I enjoyed bringing it to you. Take care. Peace.